know, and it seems like it was years ago that happened. And the strange thing about it is that going forward, it will still be somewhat in the rearview mirror, but it will become more real to you as you go forward in your life. And when you're 25, 35, 40 years old, you have to realize that even though you go your separate ways, all right, you're all, everybody in this room is going to be interconnected all the way through the rest of your life, because this happens so rarely. Okay? It just does not occur. It's a very difficult thing to do. And when I look back at the 31 years I coached, the only game I've watched from this thing is the Holton game, and I think that was probably the best win as a coach I've ever been associated with. It was almost, it was so improbable with 6 minutes left in the game, that, and I watched how you guys just, gritted it out. And, you could see it from watching it on TV. It was hard for Jason and I to see it with any kind of objectivity at the time, but it was just a question of us being tougher, us being in better shape, and those guys just crumbling at the worst possible time, and us taking full advantage of it. You could see it happening, and I was almost in shock for 48 hours after the game. I mean, I've coached a lot of games. That one will stick in my memories, being the most satisfying, rewarding game, even more so than I think the 2000 championship, and even in some way more so than the Blue Bay game this year. It was just because of the dynamics that were at play with that. I want to mention, these rings were collectively raised about $4,500, and there were some people who stepped forward. Bill was one who gave us a fairly big check, and the Masons did, Bailey's Lumber, Mars Machine, the school kicked in a little bit of money. Jason's coach's grandmother. There were a lot of people who stepped forward, and it was pretty gratifying. The community was more than willing to do this. And the last thing I'll tell you is that when you get older, I think it's important that you take the opportunity, and I learned this lesson later in life, to express your appreciation to people who have made a difference in your life. If you don't take the time to tell them what they mean to you, then you don't get the satisfaction of ever telling them, and they don't get the joy of hearing it. So it's the unexpressed appreciation that does neither party any good. And what I've done is with you guys, I've written each one of you a letter. I'm going to give it to you and give you 5 minutes or so to read it. All right, and then I put down some thoughts that meant something to me, and I just want you to take a few minutes to read it, and then.
You mean like not read them now?
No, I want you to read them.
I'll give you later.
I'm not reading it now. Read it. That's why Colton. Zach Mills. Cody. There it is.
Cody.
Justin Larrabee.
So those of you that have been making fun of Coach that he hasn't been in school much since the state game, this is what he's been working on.
Then I can chill at the beach in Florida.
Well, that's all right. That's all right.
Meanwhile, the flags are
Say
meeting people are not.
We're
We're in that school.
All right, just take a minute and read that.